It has been business as unusual. I feel like that is the understatement of the year. But it got me thinking. Our business playing field has changed drastically. In many cases, it has forced us to start something new or reset old strategies that we had in place. This new reality of our business world may cause some to get like an unsettled feeling in their stomach. And I've got to be honest, I did it first too. And truthfully, I went a little silent on my platforms. I needed the time to totally digest what was going on around me and how it was affecting my business. Actually, I knew I had to pivot and I had to figure that out. But once I began to put the pieces together, I saw the opportunity out there, and there's one for everyone. And I promise you there is, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. We just need to actively look for it and not dwell on what is painful in our current situation. And I understand that can be really difficult because although we're in this all together, we are not all in the same boat. So please don't misunderstand me. I get it. Everybody has a different boat to sail, and some of them might be taking on a little bit more water than others. And I understand that. So please don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to minimize the hardships that are going on right now and that so many of us are facing. I'm just trying to motivate us, and I'm just trying to get our mindset in a place that's right and give you some light at the end of the tunnel, because I truly believe there is a light. We just need to look for it, and it may be a little dim right now, but that doesn't mean it's not there. So anyways, my plan here is to give you fresh ideas to help you turn what may be sour lemons right now into something a little sweeter like lemonade. So the opportunity I saw and the future I saw is this. Many of you, and I appreciate you so much, have been listening to me twice a week for months now, and in some cases for over a year. And I appreciate you so much for that. And I thank you for supporting my podcast and listening to me every week. And each week you take away nuggets of information for you to execute immediately into your businesses. And then it dawned on me. It dawned on me that I have this amazing platform that I can use to help you get a handle on social media from ground zero, from a blank slate. And that really excites me, because what I am figuring out is this could be your pain pill to your digital marketing efforts. My podcast can be your pain pill to this new business playing field. And that just excites me so much. Call me a business nerd, call me a digital marketing nerd. I don't care, but it excites me because this opportunity has given me a fresh new lease on my platform, my ideas, and how I can help you. So with that being said, going forward, this podcast and my social media accounts, which have always been a teaching platform, will now be a teaching platform on legit steroids. You are going to get all the tips, tricks, nuggets, hacks, and guests that you're used to, but in a way that follows a roadmap that you can start executing from scratch. So if your social media accounts haven't been getting you the results that you're looking for, this is going to be the platform that's going to help you get that. And I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Are you ready to get started? I know I am. I'm so excited. So grab a pen, a piece of paper, and get ready. Episode 147 starts right now. Hey there. Welcome to the Laura Shipman Show. We hang out here weekly to talk about things like social media, entrepreneurship, marketing, tools, strategies, tips, and it all starts right now. Hey there. Before we get started with this show, I just want to share my passion with you. I love teaching people just like you how to master social media for business, breaking it down into easy to consume and easy to execute steps so that you can see immediate results. So whether you want to start a social media consultancy or grow your brand's presence on social media, I can help. I can help you get started and master all the things that you need to know. So I want you to go over to my website. It is filled with resources, tools, tips, and courses. Visit laurashipman.com. That's LORA Shipman.com to get all the goods. Now, you ready for the show? I know I am. Let's get started. Okay, so today we are truly going to start from the beginning with the basics. We're starting at ground zero, and let's consider this like a social media reset. And we start with the basics and then we work and we build on that foundation. Okay, so I think if you wrap your head around what social media is and how you can use it best, it'll solve a ton of issues people have or even you may have experienced with your own social media accounts in the past. So some of the biggest issues people have with social media are these. So number one, social media it just doesn't work. Number two, it's not working because I don't have enough followers. Or number three, you ask yourself, how the heck do I get Insta famous? Or maybe you say this, when I get Insta famous, that's when I'll be making bank. Or the next issue might be, no one's just seeing my stuff and I don't know why. And nothing is selling on social media. I can't sell anything. And then there's this one. OMG, social media is so freaking exhausting. I feel like I'm always on my phone or laptop posting and my business is suffering because of it. And the list goes on. So if you have said or experienced any of those things, you are not alone and we're going to fix that. So first things first, we need to understand what social media is versus what it is not. Okay, in my opinion, I truly believe social media is a free platform which allows us to do these, 5 things. Number one, it helps us build brand awareness, meaning that we get to have our brand seen by tons of people who are in our target market. Number two, it is a platform where we can connect and build relationships with our customers and our potential customers. Number three, we can use it to build a brand culture and a brand voice. Number four, we can showcase and highlight the products and services our businesses provide. And number five, we can build know, like, and trust. So those are 5 things that social media can be used for. All of these things are accomplished through the content we deliver through the platforms. Here is what I believe social media is not. It is my belief that social media is not a mechanism to continually sell and advertise. While sales and advertisements do take place on social media, it's really not the sole purpose of social media. When brands, businesses, and companies see social media solely as a sales function, their efforts kind of turn into noise and you end up being ignored. I also believe that social media should play a supporting role in your overall marketing plan. It shouldn't be the marketing plan. It is just one spoke of that overall marketing wheel. So some of the things that make up a well-rounded marketing plan or campaign are things like social media, email marketing, networking, blogging, direct mail, referrals through networking and things like that, podcasting, and affiliates. So now that you have an idea of what social media is and what it isn't, now it's time to work on that foundation. And so we're going to use 8 things to build a strong social media foundation. And this is where your pen and paper come into play. Okay, number 1 is the commitment to the process. It takes consistent effort to be successful on social media. Now, that is not the same as always being on social media. It's a consistent effort. And so remember, and a lot of people get tripped up in this area, is that the magic is in the mundane. And so we need to create a schedule and a consistent formula that we use all the time. And here are some of the things that go into that formula. Number 1, you want to carve out a dedicated time for social media. This is going to help you stay consistent. So if you've got that schedule and you know when you need to show up for your audience, you make it a point to show up for them. Okay, the next one is kind of going in line with the consistency. You actually create a schedule for how often you'll be posting. So if that looks like a daily posting schedule for you and your business, that's great. Or it may look like you post 3 times a week. Maybe it's 4 times a week. Whatever it is, set that schedule and stick to it as closely as possible. The next thing you want to do is determine who is going to be responsible for what. So you may have a team or you may have a virtual assistant, and that person could be really good at creating content, creating graphics, managing engagement, or all of the above. So you just really need to think that through a little bit, and maybe that person is you, which is why it's really important to figure out what your schedule is going to be and make sure you can commit to that schedule. Okay, number 2 is knowing your customer and the social media platforms they frequent is incredibly important. This is where you're going to spend the majority of your time. And what I'm going to do, and this is kind of tip number 3, goes in hand with number 2, you are going to start slow and grow one platform at a time and dominate that platform before you move on to another. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to launch with a Facebook plan, an Instagram plan, and a Twitter plan, and a LinkedIn plan. You're never going to be able to maintain that, especially if you're new to social media or if you're pressing that reset button. You want to start off slow and grow and dominate that program or dominate that platform, meaning you're like the go-to expert on that platform for that industry, for that space, for that niche. Okay, number 4 is you've got to have goals. Make sure you know what you are aiming for before you invest the time into social media. So here's some goals you can play with for the platform that you're interested in. Website and landing page traffic designed to generate leads. Number 2 would be brand awareness. Number 3 would be building a network. Another one could be customer service. So there's lots of different things that your business can benefit from by having a social media platform. PR is another one. So really think about how you want to use your platform, and that will help you develop a voice for your brand on social media. Okay, number 5 is you've got to have a strategy. This is the most important part of your social media presence. Without it, you're not going to succeed as much as you would like to. So in a future episode, we are going to be building a social media strategy together. But right now, I don't want you to focus on that. I want you to focus on these foundational parts. The next one is you've got to know your numbers. So you got to understand how the whole analytics and insights work for your social media platform. You want to dive in and learn as much information as possible. So in a couple of episodes back, I did a whole series on analytics. So go ahead and listen there. If you're not really strong on analytics, go ahead and listen to those podcasts. Okay. Number 7 is understanding that content is king. And this, again, along with strategy, is one of the biggest building blocks of your social media campaigns. You need to create a content plan for your business, product, or service or brand to be successful on social media. And there's some things that you need to include in this content strategy, and that is you must have high value, incredible content. And what does that mean? Because I think sometimes we hear the word value over and over again that it just sounds like noise. There are a couple of things that will tell you whether or not you're providing high value content. And the first one is just knowing your performance results when it comes to your content. So what that means is you need to look at the analytics against the goals that you've set for your account, and that will tell the story of how your content is performing. And if your content isn't performing, then it's time to make a change or a tweak, and that's okay, because there is no guidebook for exactly how well your content will perform. It is kind of a trial and error thing. Now, there are some strategies that you can have in place, and that's some of the stuff I'm going to share with you, but just know you're going to have to revisit this time and time again because this is a fluid thing. It's not concrete. So even though you might nail it now, your content, in 6 months, things might change and your audience might change. And what's considered valuable now may not be considered valuable 6 months from now. So I don't want you to get stuck in thinking that, oh, I found the secret formula, but then you never go back and revisit, because you are going to need to revisit and you're going to have to make tweaks. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay, so moving on from that, you will also need to create a content plan that's going to include this. It's going to need to include live video, short form video like stories, pre-recorded video, and then static feed posts. Now, It's not a mistake that I top loaded this with video. Video is every year actually gaining more and more importance. And so if you have issue with being on video, you've got to work with yourself, develop yourself to get over any hangups of being in front of that camera. And I get it. I've been there myself, and it has taken me years to conquer the camera. So I hear you. And if you guys need tips and if you need a podcast just on that, let me know. I'd be happy to put that together for you. Okay, the next thing in your content is king category is going to be this: post with purpose. Avoid for posting for just the sake of posting. Instead, you want to go for that high value, high quality post. And this goes back to our earlier point where when you make a commitment to social media, make sure you're making a commitment to the frequency that makes sense for you, your business, your industry, your niche, your audience. How much are they going to want to hear from you? And again, you want to make that content super high quality, but that you're not posting for the sake of just getting something out there. Okay, the next one is to provide value. You need to consider keeping your post tied to one of these categories or all of them. And this is basically how you're going to deliver your message. Are you going to do it through entertainment? Like where you're going to do, like people love to see how things get unboxed, or are you going to make people laugh, or are you going to share relatable posts that somehow relate back to your industry, product, or niche? Are you going to show educational posts? And those are like how-to posts or do-it-yourself posts, best practices, tips and tricks. Are you going to share content through feel-good posts or inspirational posts? And then finally, are you going to reward your audience for listening to you? So for me, I kind of do a combination of all of these. I mean, very heavily educational based. I do occasional feel-good posts. I do some relatable, shareable posts. And then I always reward my audience by giving free downloads and freebies and things like that. So spend some time thinking about your content, your audience who you're, sending content out to, what they respond best to, and try and come up with a diversified approach. I mean, you might want to do it like I have, where you've got one. If you think of all the different type of content categories, there's 4 of them. Think of it like a pie, and you may have a larger piece of the pie go to, I'm just going to say, inspirational, feel-good type posts, if that's what resonates with your brand and with your audience. And the other ones might be a smaller bit of the pie. That's okay because it's diversified. And I think that's what makes an account interesting, and it's what makes people come back time and again, because it's fresh, it's new, it's different. It's not the same thing over and over again. Okay, number 8 is this. If content is king, like we just said, then engagement has got to be queen. And here's what I mean. Engagement in your social media accounts is so important because it's that one ingredient across all platforms that light up the social media algorithms. It's amazing. So the more engagement you can get, the better off you and your content and your accounts are going to be. So what does engagement look like? It can be a comment, a like, a reaction, or a share that takes place on a single post. Your goal is to create content that generates all 3. And I call that the social media hat trick. And if you can create a situation or an environment where your posts consistently get a like, a comment, a share, a reaction, or something like that, you are going to be on fire. So think of that when you're creating your content. Is your content worthy of that hat trick? If it is, if you can check that box and say yes, then you're off to a good start. The other thing about engagement that I like is it's a really good barometer to tell whether or not your content is on point. Because if you're not getting any reaction out of your audience, then it's time to go back to the drawing board and take a look at what your content is saying, what kind of reaction you're getting from your content, and tweak it so that you get the reaction you desire out of your audience. So when the engagement starts with your audience, it's important not to ignore it. And a lot of people do this. And this is the whole point behind social media, right? Is to be social with your audience and get into conversations. So make sure you respond to all of the comments that are happening in your feed or underneath your posts. If you don't have time to comment and respond to every comment that's there, your social media is going to fail, because that's what audiences want. They want to have that interaction with you and the brand. So if time is an issue for you, consider this. Consider giving this job to a community manager. Yep, I said it. Community manager. It's an actual position. It's an actual title. It is an actual role. And this person, all they're responsible for is communicating with the people who are responding to your brand. If this is something that you can't fulfill, this is when you reach out and you either elect somebody within your business to do it for you, your VA, or hire someone or outsource someone who can really represent your business. Someone who understands your culture, your goals, and your brand. They need to have all of those things before they can actually perform as a community manager. Okay, so remember, when we're talking about engagement, it is not a one-way street. Just because you've got that community manager responding to all the people who are commenting on your posts, it's your job also to go and engage with other people's posts. If as much as you want that engagement to pour in for you, you must ignite that fire by sharing the love on your target audience's posts. So that community manager actually has two roles, right? They are representing your brand in the comment section of your post, but they're also going out there and doing some outreach. They're connecting with people who fit the demographic of your audience. So if you're going to do this yourself, here's what I recommend you do. Set aside 20 minutes, right? 10 minutes for you to do nothing but respond to posts on your social media account. And then 10 minutes to go out and do some outreach of your own. And what I mean by this is you're going to comment, like, and share on as many posts as you can in a 10-minute period. And when you're commenting, it's really super important to remember this. The comments have to be meaningful. It's not going to work if you're just going to leave a couple of emojis and then hop on over to the next one. That means nothing. Just like your content, you want your comments to be value-driven as well. And you know what? That reflects on your brand. It reflects on your character and who you are as a company. So it's very important for you to pay attention to how you're commenting on other people's posts. Okay, let's do a quick recap as to what our strong foundation looks like. Number 1, you're going to commit to the process. Number 2, you're going to know who your customer is and what social media platforms they hang out on. Number 3, you are going to start slow and grow one platform at a time, making sure you dominate that platform before you move on. Number 4, you're going to have goals to make sure that you know what you're aiming for when you put together your social media campaign. Number 5, you're going to have a strategy in place. Number 6, you're going to know your numbers. You're going to know your analytics and how you're performing. Number 7, content is king. You're going to really work hard on your content, making sure it is high value. Number 7, engagement is queen. You're going to make sure that you are engaging just as much as you're expecting engagement to come in. Okay, so now that we're done, you have homework, and you can expect homework from me on a regular basis. And this is really going to help you get your social media in line and on point. Your homework is to download and complete the Social Media Foundation Planner, and you can find that planner in the show notes. So go ahead and download that and then start filling that out and get yourself all organized so that we can talk about strategy and getting you to move forward. Okay, before you go, I've got one more thing. Mark your calendars and set your alarms. I release podcasts every Monday and every Wednesday of each week. Each of them will be focused on helping you master social media to help you and your business gain the visibility and the growth you require. If you found this episode helpful, please, I beg you, don't keep it a secret. Share it with someone who needs help growing their social media presence too. My goal is to help as many people as possible, and I would be forever grateful if you could help me make that a reality. All right, my friends, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay social. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me here today. I know your time is super valuable, which is why I am dedicated to providing lots of usable, actionable information in the shortest amount of time possible. Before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. And if you have ideas or topics you would like me to cover in an upcoming show, let me know about it in the comment section provided.